Side project number 714. CAV DPA diesel injection pump for a Perkins 4108 diesel engine used on a generator setup. I think I've got all my tools here and everything I'll need. Go ahead and set some of these things down. All right. And likely just turn this into a little montage. Rebuilding this because we don't currently have a generator that will power the house. And I've already got it, so I'd rather not get rid of it. Plus, Dad built it, or cobbled it together. Screw goes in the end. Just a tiny bit of Loctite. Don't want to over tighten it. It's got a copper crush washer, so I want to put a fair bit into it, but not too much. That's it. Install the new seal in this end. So, pump body installs onto the engine this direction, oil on this side. The entirety of this fills with fuel from what I understand, because it has a return port here that just goes straight through to the inside. Kind of a crazy design to me, but seal's designed to keep stuff in. And this body is what goes in here. Okay, so I'll need to install this a little bit deeper. That'll get me close. Or hey, that'll work even better if I just run that upside down. Where's my hammer? Dead blow will work just fine. Okay, nothing else that can fall over and roll away. Seal sitting in there nice and even. And it's below the surface. I can't tell if this groove on this thing is supposed to be there or not. I may take some emery cloth to this just to polish it up real fast. Be right back. All right, Took some 240 grit emery cloth to this. It didn't get rid of it, but I feel better about it. It knocked down any sharp edges that may have been there. And I cleaned it off with acetone afterwards. Go ahead and lube it up a little bit, putting it back together. But I've blown everything off. Okay, so next up comes this. There is a new O-ring for this somewhere. Probably in this bin of parts I have. That one looks a little too big. Got plenty to choose from though. Should be doing this up here where you can see. Alright, so that's the O-ring I'm looking for in my bin of parts. Oh, well, there we go. O-ring right there. And that spins around there. These CAV pumps are interesting. From what I understand, the whole thing is filled with diesel, so this will all be lubricated by fuel oil, essentially. But just so it doesn't dry start, I'm going to put a little bit of light oil on the insides of it. Nothing that some diesel oil won't be able to rinse out. Alright. And installs one way. The CAV pumps are kind of nice, they're keyed, so this is only going to install one direction, which is this direction. Right there. Okay, so that's in. Now this back down, out of the way. This bolt, this strange washer, and this lock nut. And this also had some Loctite on it. I don't know what kind, so I'm going with the light stuff. And just assuming that it's going to last long enough. Then again, this one's big enough that I can get a decent sized socket in it. So I think I will actually run the heavier grade Loctite. Make sure to degrease. Alright. high strength red Loctite. And this bolt's definitely big enough for that to be correct. Remember right, 7:30 seconds. No. 5/16. 5/16. Okay. Yeah. That's right, that installs first, and then this. And then to tighten this, just put it in a vise and squeeze this. Alright, installed and tight. Now, clean. Okay. Now, snap ring goes in. And I left my snap ring pliers. I didn't see any notes about orientation for the snap ring, so I'm going to put it at the top because that is how I took it out. Hopefully you can see in there, got enough backlight. That's fine. Everything's fine. We're fine. Alright. Then, yeah, this part next. I'll set that way. Yeah, this rides on the surface, so I'm going to polish this with some Scotch-Brite. This is how you would adjust the timing. This has a curve on it. The little rollers, let's see here, these sit in these little bodies that have these little curves on them. That is how the timing happens. So as you change this, it increases or decreases throw on those, because those are the plungers that actually push the fuel out to the injectors with little pistons that go in the back here. I'll just be putting this back together, matching the original setup exactly how it was. You can see your limit on timing there. You would set this through the cover in the side of the pump. And it also gives you your range on this here. No Loctite on these that I could tell, but they're fair sized screws. Okay, back that off a hair. Do I have it in the right spot? Yep, we're gonna go with right there. Oh, I didn't keep any of my tools close by. There they are. Yeah, those are pretty good size. I don't think they're coming loose. And like I said, I'm going to polish this. Let's polish that up with some Scotch-Brite. Or with some Scotch-Brite. I have some small pieces already torn off. Do that over here out frame. Because I don't want to do it over any of my clean parts on the bench. Much better. So this has the same thing, that curve in it that holds these in place on the bottom side. These are retained in here. There's a slight, they are a little bit more than a half circle, so you do have to slide them in, but they're not going anywhere once they're in there. I'm going to go ahead and lube these also, just a drop. Got a little bit more than a drop there, but that's okay. Put a drop in here. Because before I put that in, I need to reinstall little plungers. They're easy enough to tell which way was in and out because of the wear marks on them. They fit into these holes real snug. Not real snug, but you know, they're a slip fit. Dab some oil on those, and it should fit in that way. I'll be able to double check that. This is clean, slip it in, dab some oil on the back, and face the same direction. Go on like that, and if I pull these out, so you can see how that curve matches up with the curve in the plate. A light bit of oil on them. That's ready to go back in. So now this, with this ring facing inwards, so you can see this has lobes in it. This is going to rotate inside of here. The fuel pressure from the lift pump or the electric lift pump, feed pump, whatever you want to call it, is going to push these plungers out through the feed port right there. Each of these other ports corresponds to an injector. As this goes around, those lobes are going to push the plungers back in and force the fuel out. So, and then this has one screw in the bottom that lines up with that hole there, and that's what retains it. And that's going to be that one or that one. A lot of these screws will only fit one place, so if you're not sure what you're doing, it makes it much more difficult to go wrong. Does that one fit there? Yep. So that's the one for there. And the kit I got on Amazon comes with all new crush washers, so we're going to go ahead and change all those out. Go. Cool. And again, it is marked so that you can only get this in one direction. These things are basically self-timing, and it's really cool. Okay. So next to go in is this, which is sort of the rotor housing pump body. Got a nice new O-ring to go on that. There we go. And this thing can get stuck, so a little bit of oil to help it go in. This is what controls all your injection. This is where the injectors attach. This has your feed pump, your rotor, all that stuff. So I lubed up the inside, lubed up the outside, lubed up the O-ring. And I know this end is top because the shutoff port is there. Slips right in, and then it's got a screw there, and a screw there, and one screw there to retain it. So this one's going to go in the back or the bottom. Go ahead and change out its crush washer. Not that one. Whoopsie. A nice thick one. That's the closest one I've got. Double check my parts here. Yeah, that's the closest one I've got, so that's the one that's going in there. Let's see. You're a little low. There we go. Never noticed that. Or that one. I'm going to assume those are either overpressure bleeds or just breather bleeds. So then this one should be the one that goes here. Yep. And the front one is actually the bleeder screw for the body. I'm short one copper crush washer, I believe. So flip this one over and keep using it, because that's how that works. All right. Then if I remember correctly, this O-ring went here. Yep, that's the old one though. Okay. A little bit more oil. Unfortunately, my rotor broke, so I had to order a new one. But they are still available. You can still find diagrams and schematics online. Nice new one. And to tighten this one in place, use a piece of aluminum. Do need to be able to hold the front in place, so I'm going to put this in the vise again, tighten that gently. as tight as I feel comfortable getting it, since I already broke one getting it out. Make sure we're free of grit and grime. New O-ring here. New rotor paddles, impeller blades, whatever you want to call them. Slip one in here, like that. Slip the other one on top, facing the other direction. There we go. Alright. Comes with a new outer side to the rotor housing. What do they call it? Transfer pump liner. I would call it rotor housing, but I guess that's what this whole thing is. Some of these have a notch in them. They go a certain direction. This one doesn't. My original one didn't. It says Delphi on it, so I'm going to put that facing out because that seems right to me. A little bit of oil on the outside. There we go. A little too much oil. Dab some of that off. There we go. And just a light coating on the inside. Slips in there. It's got this button on it, or the bump. That is for the new rear cover that comes with a new wear plate to locate it. It still looks pretty clean. Pop that back in. It goes facing up, so I need this to be right about there. Okay. O-ring goes around that. New rear plate goes on. Fits in there. Wiggle it a little bit until it fits in where you want. And see if you can feed your screws in. There we go. Now you can kind of see what I'm doing. Started to do this from the bench. Come here. Set that up there. I blew all these holes out beforehand. Go star pattern on this because you are tightening down an O-ring. these do not have any kind of lock washer. And they did not have any kind of Loctite. Okay, that's how that goes. Alright. So I'll need to rebuild this, but I am going to need the directions to it because I did not catch in what order some of those things came apart. We're going to go ahead and put the control plate back together. This is going to go like this. Like that. So when I put this back in here, I put it flat because these two legs catch it. Like so. There we go. That's what the flyweights work against. And then this is the shutoff. That goes down in there. Gotta get that free first. There we go. Now to remember how this one goes. See, this is why it's important to pay attention, people. That's not fitting through there. That's not fitting through there. I'm gonna have to check the directions on that one. I know this plate goes here. I know this screw gets this tiny little lock washer and goes right there. Let's get that out of there before I lose it. There we go. Okay. I can't go that way because that's outside. Can't go there because that's for the hook. Doesn't fit there. Does fit there. That doesn't make any sense. I should have taken video while I was taking this apart. But that's what manuals are for. But I know that one goes there. And I know this goes here. Facing that direction. And I know this one goes here. And I know this one goes here. Goes there. This is going to go here and attach to the spring under this. Okay, so you go this way. Ah, I see. Oh, there it is. It's figured out. That is the shut off. Is that an O-ring? It's some kind of conical washer. Do I have a new one of those? Not that I could see anywhere. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so back these out. Move that. Move that. Get that hooked on there. That goes there. Yes, that's shut off. That's shut off, right? That's run. Ooh. Yeah. Pull back is shut off, which pushes this back, which pushes this back, which is going to push on the end of that arm, pushing it this way so that you can't open the fuel. This is spring loaded. Okay. And I assume this direction is correct. But it might go this way. And easy way to tell is that does not let it shut off fully. Okay. That was easy to figure out. That out of there, flip it over, put it back. Keep the hook on that side because that lets this move completely. Okay. Played with it until I figured it out. So, this is your RPM control. This is your fuel control, or also the shutoff. Hook goes on this side so that it can tuck in there and fully shut off. When you command shut off, this lever, which sits right here and slides under the tab of this washer, lock washer for that stud, this arm rotates back. You pull this back, that's fuel shut off. That is going to push back on this, which will push on the corner of the arm here and push it into shut off. When it's okay to run, it's going to pull that out. This will be allowed to open because it is spring loaded. This is a generator type governor, so that spring is going to be pulling on this plate trying to get it back. Let's see here. What I need to be checking is this part's not too bad to service. Right now I can focus on getting it running. Got plenty of other washers and such in here. Rubber O-rings and things. I don't have a whole lot of hard plastic bits, which is what these are. So, because of that, I think I'm going to leave those alone. Okay, so then that fits there like that. So, there you go. These CAV pumps are really that simple. Wiggle that into place. Thread it down. It's got a shoulder on it. Holds it to this bar. It's got this little tab that keeps this in place underneath it and lets it slide. If it doesn't slide smoothly, just bend it up slightly. It's not going to escape there because it's hooked there. This holds it in on the end, and it'll just rub against the case. Not like it's going to do it a whole lot. Okay. And this tiny little screw goes in there. Push that back so it hooks. Oh, what size socket do you have on you? Probably not the right one. Nope. Little tiny socket. There we go. Pull that out real fast. Make sure that's down nice and tight. Oh, she's stubborn. Push down further with this. Yep. I'll hold it as best I can. But I think that's also your torque limiting, is just you literally cannot overdo it or you'll start bending your lock washers. And I don't like how much that's sitting up. I might get a small punch to knock that down. Okay, I'm happy with that. And we'll just bend up the tabs. Mechanical locking, yay! These 3/8 studs, then tighten down. Slip this back in. Make sure it still slides nicely. It does. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Pull that back out. That should do. Tapped in the wrong spot. That's fine. Easy to fix. Give this a drop of oil since there are rub marks where it's been. There we go. Slides nice. Simple as. And this goes through here. Again, I'm just following wear marks because I was bad and didn't pay attention to what hole it actually came out of. Now, I need to get this hooked in here. That wasn't too bad, actually. And then, like that. That pulls forward, that pushes back. I keep a spring on there to keep that pulled back. Right. Run. That works real nice. Okay. This one I'm pretty sure used the fiber washers. And then these little caps on it that have holes for safety wire. Nothing too crazy. So, bleeder screw 1 goes in there. Of course, that one's not 3/8. That'd be too easy. And then this one, change out that copper. For this one, thread that in there. So you have a bleeder screw for the top of the body and the bottom of the body. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it, but I don't get it. Why you gotta have 2 bleeder screws? Why is the entire body of the thing filled with fuel? I don't know. And this cover, got a nice new cork gasket for it. Goes on right there. We even got nice new sharp lock washers for it. Cool. Alright, what else do I have left? That. So I got this guy. This takes one of these. They're magnetic. I thought they were aluminum, but they seem to be steel. So that takes one of the steel washers. This one goes in the front. This is the return line. Oh, that's what those are for. And then this hard rubber plastic piece goes down in there. Use you to push it. That doesn't go down far enough. That does not go there. It must be this one. Maybe? I don't know. Let's see here. That definitely matches that better. Alright, well that's the one that goes down in there then. This uses flare fittings for the feed and return line. And for some reason, a rubber O-ring or a plastic or whatever this is, despite being a bubble flare. Okay, now if I remember correctly, this one goes here, and it's a straight up and down. So this is cylinder 4, so it just goes up and around and into 4. The short ones go here and here, and the long one goes here. And these are directional. They've got a shoulder on them to help them clear the body. That side. Hammer. Another steel. Goes there. Yeah, that one's obviously not right. Something is wrong. Did I see it wrong? Oh, this one may be one of the ones that was at an angle and went vertically instead. Let's have a look at my injection lines and see. These went up underneath here, like so. Yeah, okay, so that one went down. That one. So if the pump is sitting like this, these go here, so this one needs to be off at 90. This one actually goes here. You can figure a lot out just by stopping and looking at things for a minute. That's going to go there, like that. Because if I put this on here, hold up, wait a minute. This one doesn't go here either. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Okay. These go to the front 3 cylinders. So this one has to be the straight out one. Like so. Which means this one's a short one going up. Come on, there we go. Which means this one has to also be like this. So it's my... Alright, the battery died there, but I figured out where the rest of my lines go. And I went inside and printed off the parts stack up for the whole thing and verified I am correct in the layout of pretty much all the parts. And I figured out how this back end goes together. Now this is going to go in here, but first, let's flip this around so you guys can see it. According to my parts diagram, in the bottom goes number 6, which is piston retaining spring, so this guy goes all the way down there. If I can get it to sit in there straight. Okay. And then this would be the body that holds this regulating piston, and just slips in the bottom. Again, I'm going to lube it ever so slightly, and it goes this way like that. Get a new material, fiber gasket that goes on here. Pull off the little bits. Look relatively clean. There we go. That's the bypass piston for if it overpressures. And this goes in there. You've got this spring on top, number 12, which is the regulating spring. In it goes. And we've got number 11, which is the regulating plug. No new regulating plug. And I may have already goofed this up, but let's see here. Regulating plug. Go in. You don't want to go in. Okay. That's okay. We dump it out. We start over. Probably a little bit of oil on that too. There is a new filter that does go on top, because I do remember that being a slip fit, and that'll let me drop it down in there much easier. Alright, so we're gonna put just a drop of oil on this. A big drop of oil, apparently. That's fine, we'll dab some of it off. There we go. Spring's still in there. I think that just may be as deep as it goes in there, is like that. And this goes on top. And this spring will go on top of that and gets held down by this. So then this goes on the bottom. Let's play this game again. There we go. And now it's much easier to put this whole stack up in here like that. Then this gets a great big copper crush washer. 11, 12, 13. There we go. Sworn this was an inch, but inch appears to be too large. But it's working, so we're going to keep going with it. Ew. in 6 minutes, hopefully. Yes. Side. Not too crazy because it is going into an aluminum housing, but torqued up. And then, oh, that's where that rolled off to. Okay, so one there, one there. And those are the rubber lines that go in there. Number 28. Olive for fuel feed pipe. Funnily enough, it says there isn't one in there, but I pulled one out of there anyway. But that's assembled, so now I'm going to slip it back on the motor, and we'll see if it'll fire up. I'm going to put the camera back on the charger. Alright, so I've got the injection pump reinstalled. All the lines are on there. Sorry, it's a little dark. I did bleed it already, but I think it's going to go. Don't remember how loud this thing is, so I stuck this muffler just in the tailpipe of that. Gauge panel on. That seems a little high. We'll see if that fixes itself. Intake back on. Let's see here. This coolant system is fine. I think I will put a little bit of water in there. Water will be fine for this. Whew, that was a gallon of water that took. I don't know if it's going to suck any more down. We'll see. Keep it handy. I am running the little Edelbrock diesel electric pump just off a battery charger that I can switch 12 to 6 and 12 volts. Here it's going. If I look here, it's returning. No leaks. I already checked that. So let's see here. Where can I set the camera? We're going to go for right here. There we go. Then it shouldn't peak the mic either. Run. Start.